Morning all. I was quite taken aback actually at the interest in the 15-minute game. So I think I'm going to set a user button actually for 15-minute customize user buttons. I'm going to put one in for 15 minutes somewhere. I know this doesn't seem that logical what I've done here. I'll make this 15-minute the 0 option right at the end. Alright, so let's see if I can get a game, 15-minute game again. So that could be a new thing for the new year, maybe, if that is popular. But I still like to do 5-minute games and shorter sometimes. You know, I like variety. Yeah, I'm fascinated by some of these Bronstein games. While we're getting a game here, he's got this French defence line, which is very, very provocative. Forget knight f6, bishop b4, but not with a winner idea. Just celebrating e5 now. Play b6. This has been played. Just retreat the bishop back here, which is basically one of the only legal moves. Not here, b4. Can't go there. Could go there, but then bishop f8 is more logical because the knight could go to e7 to f5. So f5, bishop b7. Maybe later castle queenside, and play for f6. And in 5-minute chess, he's drawn with the great Fischer in this system, and he's had very good results with it. It seems a very curious kind of system. It avoids issues with queen g4 with the bishop protecting g7. The bad bishop is going to be part of castling queenside, and the point of provoking e5, I think, is just the f5 square. Once you've got the f5 square, so you can either work on that or playing for f6 later, or maybe even both. Okay, so we've got a game against the 1669. So I'm going to try this system anyway as an experiment. If he plays the winner, which is very popular, knight c3. So here, okay, I'm going to pretend he's played e5 straight away. I'm going to go into this system just with b6. So I'm going to try and get f5. So I'm going to seal f5 for a knight. As long as he doesn't play f5 here, that'll be a pain. So we can get to play knight h6 to f5. I just like this idea strategically. It's an attractive idea, and he seems to, you know, have been playing it in blitz. And you know, sometimes in blitz, you know, simple ideas like we've seen when Nakamura won the 5-minute thing when he was playing b6 a lot. Simple ideas are often very effective off the beaten track. And maybe even sometimes for longer games, because it seems as though it's not offering White like too many targets, and it's not too tactical or technical like the Sicilian defence. He's blocked his c-pawn now, which means basically this guy could be positioning outplayed soon. If I play a6 and then c5, well, actually he's got to move his bishop though. I hope he moves his bishop so the game can go on. So I don't know if any of you have strategically, you know, considered this system. I don't know if a6 is actually essential here. I'll play it anyway. Maybe c5 and knight c6. Because often the lines with e5 are giving black a comfortable game, so the winner without actually giving up the bishop seems quite cheeky just to provoke e5. If you see the logic, you just retreat the bishop back, so you're guarding the g7 and you fianchetto with that bishop. I don't know, I think castling queenside, I've used to play this before, and I kind of stopped playing this system, but it's interesting. So it's something like knight d7 here, c5, queen c7. I mean, it could be quite attacking basically. Does he really want to give up the light square bishop? That seems to be a juicy knight for this structure strategically. You know, this is always, well, as a generalization, it's a good square strategically for this structure. So knight d7 c5, queen c7. There'll be pressure on d4. If he did take, you know, maybe knight g5 is a problem for f7. So I don't know, maybe bishop bishop e7 to take on g5. Or there's an alternative here. This knight maneuver here. If I could get a knight to e6, I'd have to move the bishop. So is it worth taking this way? Is there any actual advantage taking that way? If we've got a knight to e6, is the knight really that good on e6? I'm not sure. I mean, the knight could actually just be on d7 supporting c5, so I think I'm going to take like this. So knight d7 c5. I said hi. Okay, I think it's more social these games. So I'll say hi there. Okay. Just be back in a moment. I'm just going to finish this banana, morning banana, while he's thinking. Okay, so knight g5, so f7 is under pressure. So I could consider bishop e7 takes g5 here. I might be giving f4 square for a knight. Is there any other way? I'll just say so bishop e7 takes g5, bishop h6 or rook g8 or c5. What about just c5 and knight c6? Knight c6 contributes to d4 pressure. So maybe that's a key consideration. If the knight was on e6, it's not really attacking anything. On c6, it's attacking d4. Should I be wary about something like dc and a knight sack later? Or e6? It could be, I don't know. He's released pressure off d4 with this knight g5, unless he's going to do a knight sack with e6. How is this knight being justified here? Something like knight c6 takes, and imagine if he's castled queenside, knight d5 takes e6. That could be very dangerous. Or is it something I just ignore as though it's not going to be played? It could be a risk. So right, is it a risk though now? Knight c6. Say castle queenside, I've got queen d7, so I think I'm going to play this. So queen d7, castle queenside. Queen d7 keeps an eye on d5. And also on f7 actually, which is important of course. So queen d7 facilitates castling queenside in effect. Then there might be knight a5 also and knight c4 to consider if he castles queenside. Now if he castles kingside, then actually this diagonal cd, bishop d4, knight d4, queen d4, bishop c5 skewering the queen if he castles kingside. I wonder, he's not going to fall in for that trap, I hope. That'd be a bit of a short game, casting kingside actually. CD seems to be winning actually, straight off the bat. So that tactic. That's supporting pawn on b6, supporting bishop c5. So, okay, let's assume casting queenside then, queen d7. Now, if dc, bc, I assume that knight d5 is harmless, so he has to do something maybe about d4 at some point. Here it just looks like much the same as the previous, with the diagonal being a disaster. Just cd and knight d4 and bishop c5. I'm on the auto pairing and it's a bit early in the morning, so I apologise if this is a short game. But anyway, at least I think the commentary was bigger than usual anyway. It's but I need to get my rating up here, I think, to get stronger opponents. Not too strong, I hope. Not like Ribka strength opponents. Avoiding engine users, I hope. Yeah, this was a bit. This looks like a. Unfortunately, the content of this game is not there. It seems, unless there's a brilliant resource here. Knight f7, I just take. Knight d5, maybe I just take. It would seem to be a short 15-minute game. But anyway, the system might be of interest. Well, I was trying to play the system, but he sort of played e5 voluntarily in the advanced French. But the system itself, in the winnower, a kind of strange winnower, just to provoke e5, might be worth some investigation. What he's thinking on that move. If we look at this position with b6, is this such a dumb move? Sometimes there might be bishop a6 on the cards, but just the idea of bishop b7 and casting queenside, and just using f5. Oh, now he's moved. Okay, this doesn't look too hot still. Queen c5, bishop c5, king e3. This is getting cruel. d4 check, winning another piece. So which is stronger? I mean, I think d4 just winning another piece is pretty good. I'm going to take this guy off on e7 by bishop e7, bishop g5. So rook b1, b5. There might be c4, knight a5, takes, bishop a6. The king's still an issue anyway. I'll take this guy off. I can take rook off. Maybe put the bishop on that diagonal with a5 or something, or h4 first. Don't think it really matters. Just rook c8, knight a5 looks pretty neat. b5 first. Now we've got that tactical idea of the bishop a6 coming in. Who plays c4, just knight a5, takes, rook b5, bishop a6. This is I'm new on the auto pairing, so for this time control, this is now my 6th game, I think, on this 15-minute auto pairing. Okay, so let's have a quick. Unfortunately, yeah, it was a bit short, this game, but this can be a disaster pattern if this diagonal is weakened and white castles kingside. It's a disaster pattern for the diagonal. So yeah, comments or questions on YouTube. It is a bit early for the auto pairing. Thanks very much.